Welcome back to Open Line. We are talking about an emotional topic for many, about the Confederate monuments. What do we do? Where do we go from here? There's 70 in the state of Tennessee, 37 or so are around courthouses. We have with us Representative Brenda Gilmore, Representative Mike Sparks. Thank you both for being here. Several calls, so let's go to Marty. Hello, Marty.
Yeah, this is Marty.
Go right ahead.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, it's kind of funny. I'm watching y'all on TV and listening to you on my phone. And, ma'am, when you're speaking, Mike Sparks is talking. Your mouth is moving and Sparks is talking.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's because you're watching us listening on the phone. Okay.
I got a quick question, and if I've got time, I've got a comment. Listen, I looked at the photographs of those people in Charlottesville that they arrested, and they gave some identification on them, but they said the majority of the people in Charlottesville weren't even from Virginia, that they were paid protesters. So, and then my question is, okay, supposedly we had these people come into Franklin here recently, and Franklin and Williamson County took extra precaution just in case they did. But if these people come here, what protection have we got from them? Especially if they are paid and they're professional people. I don't know that they are. I'm just going by what I've been reading on social media.
Yeah,
and
that
if I've
is.
got time for a comment,
I'd
like
with
to
the
share
comment.
something about my childhood with you, if I've got to, if I can.
Briefly, go ahead.
Okay, I'll make it real brief. When I was a kid, I lived with grandmother and granddaddy in North Alabama, and we went to Pulaski every Saturday to sell eggs, swap hens, swap dogs, and eat lunch at Woolworths. Now, when I was a kid, some of my best friends in Pulaski were black people, black boys, and we would play tag together. We would do this together. We trade knives together, and I had no clue, no mention whatsoever that it was a racist town or anything. I'm just saying that was part of my childhood. But I want to tell you, I'm really enjoying y'all's show. Both of you are doing an excellent job of defending your position.
All right, well, thank you. Let's talk about, number one, all right, many of the people that came to Charlottesville were from outside of that town. This notion that they were paid, I don't think there's a lot of evidence that they were paid. That seems to be the new vogue thing to say, that protesters on both sides are paid. That was not the case. These people were passionate on both sides. So let's take it from there. All right, either of you want to comment here?
Well, I would just say that I thought it was a sad day in America. I love my country, and I want to see us again come together, and that we don't teach our children. It would have hurt, had I had a small child, it would have hurt me for my daughter or my son to have witnessed what happened in Virginia. For those Nazis and neo-Nazis and KKKs to be walking down the street saying the Jews will not replace us. And the fact that they ran over a young lady and killed her and interviewed one of their leaders, and the comment that he made was that we didn't lose any of our people and we only killed one of those. I thought that was just a very callous comment to make, and it does not represent who America really is.
The news has been so depressing, and that was just, it was horrifying.
Well, but the news highlights on, I mean, they highlight on all the negative aspects. Ben, we were talking off there, the media created fake news on my resolution. And me and Brenda were talking off there, and like you said, I'm the only Republican that's ever stood with the Black Caucus. So why would I try to hoodwink the Black Caucus when I built up so much credibility with them? She knows I've got 3 African-American churches, 1 burnt down, 1 was locked out for 2 years, 1 was vandalized, and I've helped all 3 of them with GoFundMe projects or something, try to help them. So why would I go lose all that value and credibility? But the media, when I want your listeners to know this, I recognize a Christian pastor. I want your listeners to listen to this. A Christian pastor, and the media created fake news. I had 25 co-sponsors, and everything that I put out there was the truth. Samson Keeble from my community, first African-American lawmaker, Republican.
So Confederate. You're getting a little far afield here. I mean, I don't think people understand. I don't even understand fully what you're talking about.
What I'm saying,
I don't like when people talk about fake news. Okay, you're talking about some resolution.
Yeah,
we're talking about these monuments.
The media distorted the truth.
I don't think the media distorted the truth. The media showed exactly what it was. the caucus and even your Republican caucus asked you not to do that.
At 25 co-sponsors.
So this was a resolution, since you're arguing about would honor someone, is that right?
The author had written about the KKK.
Nope.
And so
author.
Honored an author.
You wanted to honor this author.
Honored an author, just like I honored a gentleman that's a journalist.
And he did come to our caucus, and he asked if we do them, and we said, no, that's not the right thing to do.
No, we took out the resolution. We took out Forrest.
And the committee system, when he came to the committee asked him not to run that particular bill.
Nope, it's on TV, you can watch it.
And he ran it.
Nope.
And he ran it with a consent agenda, which meant that there was no discussion on it.
You just vote for the Amendment.
You just vote for a whole slate.
Under our First Amendment. I want your listeners to know this, folks. I want you to wake up. Under the First Amendment, Ben, I can recognize a journalist. I recognize Dan Whittle that's in my community. Dan Whittle, he's battling cancer now, goes to church with me. Honored him. He happened to write a column about Forrest a month early.
Nathan Bedford
What's the difference between me honoring?
I don't think the issue is that.
Let me speak, please. I recognize an author who took the time to write a book, to look at a man's life and learn the truth. And say, look here, he ended up advocating for African Americans. It's all documented. He had 3,000 African Americans at his funeral. That's something I think that should be talked about. It should be taught in schools. And for me to come under the being crucified by another media outlet, and they literally lied. All I did was honor a pastor who wrote a book. He's a Christian.
Now, someone must have felt otherwise.
He wrote the book about KKK.
We're going to move on from this. We're going to move on, but all right, we have to move on.
Yeah.
If we can't agree on this, how in the world are we going to agree on these monuments? I mean, this is
but the truth needs to be the truth needs to be out there.
And you know what? And the crux of the issue again goes back to the KKK. The root of the problem in the honoring of the
forgiveness.
There's
Dr.
nothing
King
wrong.
Talked about this.
There's nothing wrong with forgiving them. We just don't need to honor them.
We're not honoring them. We're looking at the truth.
Just like
let me
the Forrest bus.
Right.
We can forgive him. You said yourself that in the end he reconciled.
But that element needs to be shown to the public.
But does he need to set up on a pedestal?
I'm not saying he's
and that we look at him every time we go in?
The truth of history needs to be told.
So should he be there in the Capitol where lawmakers walk
Absolutely
by?
Absolutely no. He does not need to be in a public place.
So you're okay with that? You would say move him to a museum?
No, I mean, let's put Samson Keeble there, who come from my area, first black lawmaker, Republican, Confederate soldier. Put him there. You offer more diversity. I mean, where do you get African American, Republican, Confederate soldier? And that's history. That's the element of history.
All of it is history.
It is.
We just don't have to honor
one thing
them.
That we need to
That's
recognize,
my contention.
When I spoke at MTSU, the only way, Representative Gilmore, that I even knew about this, I started studying. Like any good journalist would do, Ben.
Right.
I started studying for my own. I come across that story of him advocating for African Americans having 3,000 blacks at his funeral. I'm like,
but
why
how many did he kill before he did that?
This is war.
Yeah, but this was an unnecessary kill. From what I read, and I read as well, these were soldiers who had given up.
So you're talking about Nathan Bedford Forrest now again.
Okay. I know we're getting back and forth.
All right, well, that's
these are soldiers who had surrendered, and he still killed them.
He was exonerated. He was exonerated.
It does not make any difference if he was exonerated.
Because they looked at the facts.
All right, so we're going to...
What could be the facts if you surrender?
Congress did an investigation. They looked at it. They exonerated.
If you surrender, what could be the
fact
that you would
took up arms against him again. That's my understanding.
All right, there's a lot to talk about here. Guess what? We only got to one call. We only got to one call. That was Marty. Marty liked the show, and that was a nice call, Marty. Thank you. All right, we are going to go to more calls, I promise. We're going to take a break, go to more calls. Take a break, be back right after this.
Oh, my God.